Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from 4th Canto, Chapter 14, text number 42. Nangasya Vamsho Rajarshe Yesha Samstatum Arhati Amoga Viryai Nripa Vamshe Asmin Keshavashrayaha. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The sages decided that the descendants of the family of saintly King Anga should not be stopped. For in this family the semen was very powerful and the children were prone to become devotees of the Lord. Purport. The purity of hereditary succession is called Amoga Virya. The pious seminal succession in the twice-born families of the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas especially, as well as in the families of Vaishyas, also must be kept very pure by the observation of purificatory processes, beginning with Garbha Dhana Samskara, which is observed before conceiving a child. Unless the purificatory process is strictly observed, especially by the Brahmanas, the family descendants become impure and gradually sinful activities become visible in the family. Maharaj Anga was very pure because of purification of semen in the family of Maharaj Dhruva. However, his semen became contaminated in association with his wife Suniti, who happened to be the daughter of death personified. Because of polluted semen, King Vena was produced. This was a catastrophe in the family of Dhruva Maharaj. All the saintly persons and sages considered this point and they decided to take actions in this matter as described in the following verses. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So, the great sages, just as they could kill king, they also thought it right to do something for the future. So they take up, in emergency, they take up such tasks for the welfare of the people. Sometimes they do the job of a Vaishnava, of a Kshatriya. Kshatriyas only kill, etc. That is the scenario now. In this scenario, here in this verse it is said, the sages decided that the descendants of the family of saintly King Anga should not be stopped. For in this family, the semen was very powerful and children were prone to become devotees of the Lord. So, 2-3 important points that we can observe in this verse and purport by Prabhupada. That the rishis, their perception was very much grounded to reality, that it is a fact that each body in this material world has its special certain characteristics that pass on through family succession, which cannot be denied. Though we say the four varnas are according to quality of work and not according to birth, but those qualities, many of those qualities, starting point of those qualities, you can develop so many new qualities by samskara. But when we are born, the DNA of the parents, which we know by modern science, has its influence on the characteristic of the next body. Now, this is not some belief. This is today proved. Some ailments of the body itself is sometimes genetic. So there is a spirit and there is this body. This body acts as a person, body person, or a robotic person. This robotic person, this bodily person, is not the spirit person. The spirit person drives this body person. Body person by itself, though we call it body person, though we call it false ego, it is not really an ego. It is not a substance of spirit. So these bodies are imitation of the spiritual body in the spiritual world. And therefore they have their own laws of material nature, by which from parents the children gain certain good and bad qualities. And then after being born on his own, by samskara, he can annihilate bad qualities. He can dissolve bad qualities and can adopt fresh qualities. And that is what Krishna consciousness movement is doing. And that normally doesn't happen. Destiny cannot change normally. To change destiny or to change the DNA, it requires to change requires a force. And to change destiny is not an ordinary force. But it is possible and it is proved that by devotion service, by chanting the holy names of the Lord, destiny means here what? One's intrinsic characteristics, habits, tastes, vasanas, all these things are there in each one of us. Our likes, our dislikes, our whims and fancies, our achar, means bodily habits. All these things are why it is destiny, because helplessly you act in that way. But by association of persons with higher qualities, one can change one's destiny. Just like how we have changed our destiny. If you take your own life, you will see you had brothers, sisters, and you joined Krishna consciousness movement. how your taste has completely changed and different from your brothers and sisters. They were born in the same family. They have no change. But we have completely changed. We don't have any of our old families, characteristics which are against Krishna consciousness. We have retained whatever qualities, karmic qualities that we have, which is doubtable in service of Krishna, that we have maintained. We say pedigree, good pedigree, means comes from good family. Naturally, from the family, we join at the age of 23 or something. Till 23, what has happened in my life depends upon what my family has inculcated into me, what it has trained, good and bad, or no training. So all that thinking matters, and somebody will have good training, good samskara in the family. So when we come to Krishna consciousness, when we come to accept Krishna consciousness, we are with our baggage, good and bad, of our past karma. How we have adopted, how we have got this from the family. Family is not the reason. Your past karma is the reason to get born in that kind of a family. So ultimately it is our own action that creates a destiny of what kind of a family we were born in. Now you see how this transcendental science works. When you come to Krishna consciousness movement, when you associate with Krishna, when you associate with Krishna's pure devotees, when you live in the association of Vaishnavas, many of our guna and karmic influence changes. To things that are favorable, habits, thinking, everything that are favorable to cultivate Krishna consciousness. So body does have an impact on Krishna consciousness. This is important to understand. Body does have an impact. Krishna consciousness is transcendental. But as sadhakas, we don't become transcendental overnight. So the bodily characteristics, this yantra, this robot, it influences my Krishna consciousness. Therefore, we have to accept things that are favorable for devotion service, reject things that are not favorable for devotion service, exercise our free will, and develop a new devotional culture within our chittam. And it will happen when you live in the association of devotees. This will gradually develop. And such a body completely supports my devotional service. Because in this verse it is said that in this family, the semen was very powerful and children were prone to become devotees of the Lord. Because a devotee of the Lord, the body of a devotee of the Lord, has certain special characteristics. Brahmanical characteristics. Free from accumulated lust. The Prabhupada says here that anyway, the So there are two things that we need to understand here. One is how well versed in the science of body and the soul the rishis were, that you will see in this case. The rishis decide to churn the thighs of the dead body of King Veena, and by a specific method they could produce a dwarf-like person from Veena's body. So soul is different. King Veena's, that soul is gone. But with the same body, because this body is invested with genes of Dhruva Maharaj, descendant, devotional kind of thing. A body that is favorable for devotion. There are unlimited, so many things you can list that are favorable kind of a body-mind situation to execute bhakti. And in our case, we create that situation by Chetodarpanam Arjanam, by cleansing our heart through the chanting process. So that process is not being discussed here. Here, normal, they knew genetic technology so much that the rishis could produce another body from the thighs. Okay, before genetics were discovered, if somebody reads this, they will say, what is all this nonsense? Correct? But today you can say that, it is possible. From a thigh, how a body will come? Yeah, if the genes are there, it is enough. Whole body will come. All parts of the body will come. So obviously they were very highly advanced in genetic technology. Sages churned the thighs of the dead body like that. So that is one aspect as to how the rishis were expert, even in the matter of this machine, yantra, body, what can be done, what cannot be done, etc. And obviously an appropriate kind of a soul entered that dwarf's body, that they did not create. The other part we have to understand is that this body, bodily constitution, bodily habits, mental habits, they are all of the yantra. But for a sadhaka, he is not beyond the yantra. He has to practice his devotion service, he has to awaken his Krishna consciousness through all the pluses and minuses of his body. Simply we cannot say we are transcendental. We can be transcendental if you associate with the holy name nicely. But still we have got the work to accept and reject and change the culture. What may be your mind as Shudra culture today, even as a devotee, because of the background. Because we are executing devotion service and chanting the holy name of the Lord, associating with all pure Supreme Personality of Godhead, all those qualities will dissolve, negative qualities will dissolve, and all positive qualities that you already have due to your past karma will be enhanced. whether it's a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, whatever, Kshatriya or a Brahmana, it will be enhanced to be engaged in devotion service of the Lord and burn them before leaving this body. So that is the reason why we all have, if you take up our different services that we do, certain inborn nature which you would observe right from the beginning, that nature is still continuing in service of the Lord. And negative ones are curbed through proper association. Lack of cleanliness, lustiness. These are all negative forces in the body that obstructs devotion service, that obstructs the process of the sadhaka to awaken his Krishna consciousness. The process of sadhana for awakening in Krishna consciousness is like building up the fire. And these sinful activities, especially these 4 sinful activities, intoxication, meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, these are major contamination in the body. The forces in the body that drive us towards this body and the mind. Gambling is mind. Gambling means not simply the so-called gambling by going to a gambling club. Mental speculation is gambling. A devotee becomes free from mental speculation. There is nothing to guess. Reality is already there. Shastras have given. There is no need to speculate. You simply have to hear and accept. Life is very simple. No speculation. Speculation is different. Contemplation is different. You contemplate to understand the accepted truth. We read Prabhupada's book and we sit and contemplate and think. That's not speculation. That is trying to comprehend. Speculation means the conclusion is wavering. Oh, whether this is truth, that is truth. Or whether this will happen or that will happen. Why speculate? When it happens, it happens. Do your duty and live it. Right in the Bhagavad Gita, beginning itself, Krishna teaches that. That is also speculation. Nothing happens without the will of the Lord. Just do your duty as well as you can. And then you don't try to control the outcome. So, intoxication, tendency of meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, these are some of the things that goes against a devotional culture. Some bodies karmically very easily adapt to these things. Some bodies karmically find it difficult to follow these things. Devotees. Therefore, each devotee has a different kind of a struggle to develop his sattva-guna. That is the reason why initially you are not given Brahminical status, because by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Anartha Nivritti begins. So cleansing of negatives in your body, mind, system, karmic negative forces, they are all cleansed. Unless they are cleansed, their influence will continue. Holy name is so powerful. If you strictly follow what spiritual master has said, 1 year you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare for 16 rounds every day. That's what Prabhupada has set up the standard. Certain level of purification will happen. And then what is the result of that purification? Brahminical qualities will arise. Or Brahminical qualities will be infused due to the power of association of the holy name, association of your sadhana program. So ultimately one is, progressing in spiritual life. If one has to progress, to keep the body and the mind in a certain condition is extremely important. Because a sadhaka maintains his Krishna consciousness through the body and the mind. When you are awakened your soul's Krishna consciousness, that is another matter. So we are all sadhakas. That means we have to convert our body and mind into a Vaishnava body and a mind. And that Vaishnava body and mind, that means the body and the mind of a devotee, when it vibrates in that mode of devotional mode, Brahminical devotional mode, then it can wake up the spirit soul. That is how awakening happens. So a soul can never awaken its Krishna consciousness by keeping the body and the mind in any way you think. No. That's a guru is given instruction, living style. If you already awakened, that is a different matter. Like Jada Bharat and all. You were not clean, this thing, that thing, everything. Right? But he already crossed that stage. He's awakened, he's in a transcendental platform. That time it doesn't matter what kind of body you are in. Externally speaking, if you see Jada Bharat's thing, you'll see what kind of a Brahmana he is. Unclean, this thing, that thing, all those things. So the whole Jada Bharat Leela is given for us to show that transcendental means transcendental once you cross. The soul can be transcendental in the midst of all these things. An awakened soul, not us. So from this we can learn this lesson that why Bhagavatam, it's all about spiritual, why Bhagavatam is so much speaking about maintaining the body's genealogical thing and all those things. Because you have to understand that right now I am affected by my body and the mind. My body person has to become a Vaishnava. That means socially in this world, first I have to become a good Vaishnava. My habits, my thinking, my values, my conceptions, my beliefs, my pleasure beliefs, all these things have to be, where are those changes happening? In the system. So, though we say Brahmana by samskara, not by birth, but the reality has to be accepted that by birth, your body acquires some things from your parents. It acquires. Suddenly, because you have taken initiation, your karma doesn't change like that. You look different. Your karma has changed. After initiation, you look different. No, you look the same. Your same gunakala karma is pushing you. Now you are turning it into Krishna's service. Any questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna, bro. Hare Krishna, bro.
Ah.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. This was something going in my mind also while rendering services. How do we deal? Uh, Regarding the gunas, as you have mentioned that devotee have their own nature basically, and it takes time. We have to accept that reality while rendering the devotional service. My question is, when we are rendering devotional service on ground reality, we're explaining certain things multiple times to a devotee. This is how we should do. This is the system. This is the process. Not able to now. Hare Krishna.
Just tell me in essence if you understood. Come here.
So I'll rephrase the question in simple term. So we discussed about the gunas, which was clarity for me. But while practically rendering devotional service, we also get to know each other, devotees, and nature also. Get to know the nature of each other. That this is how Prabhu will serve. This is how his nature is. But multiple time giving a training and the process and the system, how it works, still things doesn't goes, and it gives us kind of a, I won't say the frustration, but little feel like, because end result in the sense for Krishna we could not do. So how do we cope up such things? We leave it to Krishna?
No. You're saying sometimes in spite of our efforts, certain things don't change in us. Right?
In ourselves and,
in us and everybody.
Everyone.
It doesn't change. It depends on, you, as an observation, you see this person has never changed. As an observation. Because he has not put efforts to change. He has not seen that this is unfavorable for devotion service and I should put efforts to change. But your efforts will be successful very fast because of chanting. Not because of chanting. Chanting will give you the strength, but your desire is very important. Please understand that. Ultimately, your desires will be satisfied. Our desire, our free will is supermost to bring about any change in us. Please understand. That is the supermost. If your free will is not, if you are not determined, I want to change this habit, simply one day automatically it will go away. It will not go away. You have to learn from the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra what is unfavorable and then develop desire and dislike for that. I dislike this habit of mine. I dislike this. If you don't decide to dislike it, why Krishna should remove it? You still have like for it. So desire and liking is very important for rapid purification. You got the most powerful association, the holy name, the ocean of Sat Chit Ananda. But if you don't want Sat Chit and Ananda, what can be done? Lord is not going to force Sat Chit Ananda. Because if you force, again you will cover it with Asat, Achit and Nirana. If you say, I won't put water on the fire anymore, then very easily you will see permanent progress. Or at least be determined not to pour water on the fire. Be determined. You may fail, but your determination is to succeed in not putting the water. You don't even have a determination to succeed in that. Your old ways will continue. Old ways will continue. No change in your life will happen if you are not desired to give up something. Give up that bad habit. No change will happen. You might decide to give up certain bad habits, but there's no guarantee you will succeed if you do not have the holy name, if you do not have Guru's mercy. It is not that Guru's mercy and Krishna will, without your desire, will transform you. Desire is a cause for our existence in this material world, in a particular body, in a particular situation. Therefore, it said, God helps those who help themselves. A sadhaka knows my desire is very important. Then my association will be very effective if I have the desire. You should have desire for positive association, then you will get positive association. So that is important to know that why my old ways are not changing, because I have not either doubted it properly, I have not recognized that this is a negative quality, and I want to get rid of this. Very simple process. You make your own destiny. Krishna will help you. That is why you see in this world, every unlimited living entities, unlimited type of bodies, unlimited of types of. What is that? Krishna is allowing. You have created your body, you have created your mind, you have created your life. That is material world. Karma is very powerful. So you can uncreate, or you can dissolve the old karmic tendencies. That is why every day you hear, you need transcendental knowledge. First you get knowledge, then you get vijnana. Oh, this is not good. This is pouring water on the fire that I am building up, the fire of bhakti. So therefore I should get rid of this. But I am so fortunate, I got all the weapons that is required to get rid of this. All the weapons I have got. Different types of association is the cause for transformation of our own self. And you want to transform yourself into a devotee Vaishnava body-mind system, in few years, you have to chase that. You have to chase that. Good sadhana, reading Prabhupada's books, and understanding these things and make a determination. Then every point, Guru and Krishna will help such a devotee. So each devotee's initiative is very important.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Just like you are a devotee because you decided to be a devotee today. Therefore, you were permitted by the super soul to become a devotee. Now you have to decide to remove certain all these, my bad tendencies. By association, you see, you hear Prabhupada's characteristics, Prabhupada's nature, Prabhupada's thinking. You get influenced. Oh, this is a right kind of thinking. I shouldn't be thinking the other way. Yeah.
Prabhu, in this, you may correct the understanding. In the Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, Krishna says, when we generally blame to the situation or circumstances in the person, so he says, na anyam gunebhya karmani. Na anyam means there is no other, only the gunas. And the gunas, Prabhupada clarify, comes with the association, the holy name which will help us to improve. Is the correct understanding, bro?
Huh?
Is this the correct understanding that where Krishna says, na anyam gunebhya karmani, there's no other, it's your gunas. And Prabhupada gives in the purport, the gunas comes because of your association.
Exactly. Exactly, as I mentioned. But if you don't desire to say, let's say I have some tamoguna. If you don't, and if I can change that by associating with people who are not in tamoguna. Suppose I don't desire to associate, it will always remain. So therefore in Krishna consciousness, in spiritual life, practicing spiritual life, Association starting from the holy name, from Sadguru, Vaishnavas, Shastra, Shabda association, all these things is what actually changes our guna. And if you don't associate with them, your gunas will never change. If you don't chant Hare Krishna, your gunas will never change. If you don't hear Hare Krishna, your gunas will change very slowly. Only chanting, but no hearing. You chanting and you hear, you'll see, what is gunas? What is lower guna? How lower gunas will go? By Chitta Shakti that flows from the Nama. Spiritual realization you get. Your eyes open up. Tamoguna means darkness. Yes, eye open up to reality. And that is actually happening to us. Otherwise, how you are sitting and giving class? Because the eyes have opened to some degree. Before joining, if I told you, sit on the asana and give a class, could you have given? No, you could not have given the same class. Why you are giving another different class now, after a few years? Because Chitta Shakti has shined in your heart, and that much Tamoguna is gone. Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.